All right. So we are recording. There's Andrew. Say hello. It's on his phone. In this coffee shop that we're at. We dressed really nicely. And it's nice. It's like a nice coffee shop in the center of Bogota. And my hair is messed up. But I just wanted to talk to you guys really quickly about how the healthcare system tricked you into being poor and complacent. And I know a lot of people, you know, watching this are like, well, you know, everybody needs healthcare, and healthcare is really important, and I totally agree with you. You know, like, I care about my health too, and I like modern medicine, and I love what it's done for us. And I love that there's so many things, you know, like, that would have killed us off as a species if not for modern medicine, like, you know, the polio vaccine, or like, I don't know, the cervical cancer vaccine. Like, there's so many things that, wait, 1 second, before we continue, do you like my sweater? The camera's rolling, but I just, it's got llamas, and I just want to point out that I'm not wearing the same thing as I wore yesterday, and it's huge. It's a huge thing. So anyway, but anyway, as getting back to the healthcare thing, so like almost everyone I talk to that is like, oh, I have my $40,000-$50,000 job in the US, that doesn't want to leave the job is because of the health insurance. So like, oh no, like, well, without my job I wouldn't be able to pay for the health insurance. How much does health insurance cost without a job? Upwards of at least $400 a month. And if you're really lucky, and if you go on this government program, like I have a health insurance that's like a government program, government funded health insurance, because I don't have a job, and my income, my salaried income is zero, you know. So if you can show that to the government and show that your salaried income is zero because you don't have a job, they'll give you a health insurance that's like, you know, $330 a month or something, and that's the cheap one. And it's kind of shitty. It doesn't cover anything, and I've still been having to pay out of pocket for everything. And, you know, like, I'm not like most jobless people. Of course, I have income that's coming from, like, you know, real estate and, you know, kind of either one-off thing projects that I'm working on, or like real estate, which isn't a salary because it's not really predictable as much as a salary. But sorry, this video is so like scatterbrained. It's really hard. Like, it's really hard for someone like me to have health insurance, and the cost of paying out of pocket for anything is just through the roof. It's like the same as your income for like a whole year, just for just basic things that aren't really that special. Like, if you go to another country and pay for a lot of these things that you're paying through the roof for, they could do a better job for not a lot of money. Like, it's not special. It's not special to get a dental cleaning. You know what I mean? It's only, you think that because you've been wired in your mind to think that it's so costly and such a big deal to get like a dental cleaning, because you're in a place where it's so expensive. And so, like, that's why people are conditioned to like take the job that they don't want, take the lifestyle they don't want, and to keep themselves stuck in a system that's making them poor and keeping their lifestyle bad and unhealthy, just because your brain has been wired to think that you need this thing that you don't actually need. Like, you don't actually need to be there, and you're there because of healthcare. And not only that, the thing that keeps people feeling even more stuck to this lifestyle, which is unhealthy and is causing you to have even more health problems that you might not have had if you were in a place where there's more sunlight, more activity, less like staying seated on your laptop for 12 hours a day, and healthier foods, non-GMO, non-processed foods. Like, the thing that's keeping you there not only is your health insurance, but the things that your health insurance is buying, specifically prescription meds. And this is like a really deep cultural thing, and I know like whenever I talk about this, people get really upset because it's so deeply embedded. It's like we're just so down the path of like the matrix or whatever you want to call it, that people just this is such a deeply seated, deeply rooted belief system. But the idea of being dependent on prescription meds, there are very few people in the country that were like completely beyond repair. You know what I mean? When they were put on prescription meds for life. And I'm not talking about like, oh, you know, Tylenol or Adderall or like Ritalin to deal with like your, you know, ADHD or whatever, which that's not necessary either. But I'm talking about like really expensive meds. I've been prescribed really expensive meds that like almost gave me a heart attack when I look at the bill. And, you know, for anxiety or for feelings of, you know, like feeling stressed or whatever, like things that your lifestyle could fix, but that your doctor will tell you, oh, you know, you have this issue, you're feeling sad, you're feeling restless, you're feeling anxious. Well, you know, you probably have this disorder, and there's like a list of disorders in their handbook that you might have that requires you to be put on like lifetime meds that are insanely expensive. And you know, I know people who have like just like a whole list of meds, young people that are like, you know, shouldn't be on any meds. Like, it's sad, but young, probably in a different situation, healthy people that are on a list of medications that are like, part of those meds are just to offset the symptoms of like the other meds that they're taking. So they go to the doctor and they have these like emotional feelings. They have these very human feelings that every normal healthy human has when they're in a shitty lifestyle, shitty sedentary, no sunlight lifestyle. And their doctor is like, yeah, you have, you know, looks in their book, this disorder, and puts them on these very expensive medications that, guess what? What's going to pay for it? Your health insurance. And you need very good health insurance to pay for it. That health insurance is most likely going to be paid for by a very standard 9-to-5 job from and the only people that the only companies that are going to be able to pay for the kind of health insurance that you need are big corporations in the US that, you know, so it basically perpetuates this like system mentality where like everybody has to live like this, you know, because you need that health insurance, because without it you're gonna die or something. And it's not true. You won't. Nothing will happen to you. Most probably, if you were to drastically change your lifestyle, create a much healthier lifestyle and move out of the system, move somewhere where, you know, you don't have to be in like a big city that's contaminated and polluted and everybody wants to kill themselves and is depressed. You know, you move to an area where people are actually happy, you know, like a small rural village anywhere in the world. You won't need it. You won't need all these things that you think that you need in order to be okay. And it's just sad that so many people are staying in this system that is toxic for them. It's long-term, it's hurting them. It's like, you know, they feel cooped up, they feel stressed. Inflation is just like a slow killer. It's a slow killer, and it's like, you know, combined with everything else that is just decaying in your life, and you're choosing to stay in it because you feel like you have to, because you were told that you need these very, very expensive medications in order to be normal, because the only thing that's going to pay for it is that very, very expensive health insurance. Like, so it's like a very systematic way of thinking. It's very deeply embedded in the culture, and if you try to challenge it, people will say like, well, you don't understand. I have looks through the list X disorder. You don't understand. It's like, well, maybe
like, you wouldn't have so many disorders if you had a healthy lifestyle. But there's nothing to compare it to. Like, nobody has ever heard of a healthier lifestyle to compare it with. So they won't even, so it's not even like, they don't have anything to compare their lifestyle to, so they don't know what a healthy lifestyle is. And they see like people that get sunlight, that go outside and are active, living the kind of lifestyles that our forefathers lived. They see that as like hippy dippy. I mean, by they, I mean me, not so long ago. So like, maybe you just haven't seen a healthy lifestyle. Maybe you haven't seen yourself under healthier circumstances. Maybe you just haven't seen the version of yourself that does yoga every morning and is active regularly and is drinking water and is like, you know, around people that are happy and is being nurtured and is doing art and painting and is doing like, you know, and it isn't under the burden and stress of these insane financial standards. Like, you know, most of the world isn't under the financial stress that you are, and that's why they see you as the rich kid. Most people don't have to deal with what you have to deal with. And that's why you, with your expensive health insurance and your expensive medications, have a significantly lower life expectancy than some lady in Africa that is having 20 kids, you know, I'm exaggerating, 11 kids in Africa, doesn't have health insurance, doesn't have these costs, and doesn't even have access to modern medicine. Why should that lady have a higher life expectancy than you? You're paying to have access to modern medicine. You should have a higher life expectancy. If you don't, then something is very, very deeply wrong. All right, that's all I had to say, and see you guys in the next video.